buzz, voices screaming, it never was. Truth so cheap in the neon haze, lies for breakfast, rage all day. Turn it louder, drown the lies, feel the fire burn the skies. Tune in, lock up, Rich is live. Tune in, lock up, feel the drive. Rich saves America, it's time to thrive. Tune in, lock up, Rich is live.
Welcome to Goof On. All right. It is a Saturday night. I'm doing the show as the MMA goes, and the baseball game's over because it's a blowout. So I'm gonna do a show and shout it out real quick. There's a mystery going on that we can't get away from. It's 3I/Atlas. You got Avi Loeb and Mick West. All the others, Eleganzo's best. He can't ever tell the truth. We know that he is big buffoon. He's a buffoon. Oh, ancient Chinese secret. Oh, Japanese. Remember when you were a kid? And, well, I do, obviously. And you used to go, because this is where we grew up, Staten Island, New York. And I think it was Halloween. You go, Chinese, Japanese. Wait, it's Chinese, Japanese, dirty knees, look at these. I always hated that. I said it doesn't make sense. How do you go from Chinese to boobies? I just don't get it. I never liked that racist song. I denounce it. See, we can denounce bad things here. Not that anybody was asking. Tonight, I want to thank you for being here. You see, you thought I was going to say, tonight, we're going to talk about now. I want to thank you for being here. It is Saturday night. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and nothing more important than this. No? Feels like it. I think I'm done with Charlie Kirk. We're never going to know the truth unless somebody tells us what we think is the truth. It is absolutely insane what bothers me still. You know, those people were his friends in the security detail, and they go in there as he's, falling over and everything. Even when they carried the body out, nobody had blood on their hands. You can't find it. There's no blood, no footprints of blood, no blood dripping. Well, now it's all gone, but you can look at the older videos. What? That baffles me. Nobody had blood on their hands. Not one person. Somebody please send me a link if you found blood anywhere. That's not happening when he gets shot, after he gets shot, or blown up, or electrocuted, or wind blasted, or MK Ultra'd. It never ends. Candace Owens. Can't listen to her. Who talks this way? And I don't even know what I'm going to say. I don't even know what's going on with the TPUSA, and there's something to get. Slow down. They think the faster they talk, the more important it sounds. Right? We've seen that. Sometimes you just do it naturally. Not Candace Owen. You know who else talks that way? Ben Shapiro. Is that his name? Shapiro? He talks that way. The more I speed talk, the more important I sound. I can't talk that fast. It's never been in my nature to talk fast. I always felt like a normal speed was good for me. Even slow sometimes. You know, you act like you're thinking when in reality you lost track of what you were saying. So you make... And then they went to the bushes. You know, you look smart when you... You know, you lost train of thought. I do it here every night. What are we doing tonight? Now, if you have evidence, we have spoken about this before, but not about the crash retrieval stuff. Look, do you remember, what was that one in 1967? It looked like a bell-shaped craft. Some people said it was like the size of a Volkswagen. What was that one that... It was 1967. I had it on the tip of my tongues. It starts with an H, I think. I don't know. But people were at that crash site before any authoritative figures got there. Any Army, Navy, Air Force, Mariners, police. I think police got there first. What was that? What was that place? I think it was with an H. Anyway, lots of... I just have to laugh at myself. I love me. And I hate me. Yeah. Anyway, I just find that people who... Like, don't you think there's people out there that have come across a crashed UFO or something high-tech before military got there? You know what I mean? Ah, shit. I just got the tone. I'm a targeted individual. Yeah, they're targeting me right now. They're messing with my insides. I'll be throwing up tomorrow. Anyway, it was nice knowing everybody while we're here and alive. So we'll do this show, and tomorrow I'll be dead, most likely, from throwing up. But I find it interesting that we don't ever hear about people... Well, there was that one guy who found that spiral... it looked like it could have been a sickle, like an icicle, but he said it was like molten lava that dripped off of the UFO. How many times have we heard that? We're going to talk about Borland. Dylan Borland. Is it Dylan? The whistleblower tonight. Yeah, this guy's making a little noise with his stories. Yeah, well, I want to look at his stories a little bit. He was the only one that I thought sounded legit when we saw the hearing a couple weeks ago. Can't believe it's been 3 weeks. Well, that's because Kirk, Captain. Hold on. All right. Now tonight at 8 o'clock, because it's the beginning of the month, I forgot. We give away 10 memberships a month. So I'm giving away 10 Goofonian memberships at the top of the hour. That is in 46 minutes and change. All right. Who's here? Brian Yates is here. How you doing, Brian? Good to see you. Jeanette Angel. How are you doing? Good to see you. Beza, good to see you. Welcome to this show. Metalhead, good to see you. Welcome. Paul Callahan Fowler, welcome to this show. Chicken Coop Confidential, also Lucian. welcome to this show. McGurk72, welcome to this show. Okay, well, hey, Brookes, welcome to the show. Glenn Collins, welcome. Hope everybody's doing well. Good to see everybody. All right, there's not many here yet. It is a Saturday evening. Most people are probably wondering, wow, a show. Hey, Helicity, good to see you. Sam O, how are you doing? Scott Brown. Oh, Jude, geez, did you ever send me that message? Shit. I never went back. Christopher V, how you doing, Scott Brown? Christopher V, how you doing? Good to see everybody. Brian says, hey, I got into ufology 5 years ago and believe less than I did. If that's, it is. It is. I'm one of them that went through the same thing. I believed a lot of stuff until I started recording the lies and listening. Hey, if I didn't say your name, it doesn't mean I don't love you in the intros. It means we got a lot of show to do. Really, we do. And I got to go quick tonight because there's sporting events happening and pay-per-view MMA and some baseball playoffs. So a whole lot of stuff. And I got to run to the food store. Food store. All right. So what was I saying earlier? Oh, yeah, Dylan Borland. All right, let me move quite quickly here. This is interesting. Wait, what? Oh. Back it up. Beep, beep, beep. Okay. I want to back this up. Let's start over. How's everybody doing? Great. Okay. I want to start off with Avi Loeb talking about, with Tim Burchett, I believe, with Burchett talking about the claims that this is an alien spaceship. This is from Newsmax. This is a 6.5-minute clip. Now, there's another one that's a little bit shorter, but I thought we might as well just fill in the voids. Here we go. So it says, Burchett claims he's not been briefed on 3i Atlas. Don't you find that interesting? I thought he was briefed on all this stuff. No? Also says here, he's wondering what's going on, stating, I realize there's a shutdown going on, but this was occurring before the shutdown. So what are NASA doing? October 3rd was a historic moment for humanity, and all we have is total silence from NASA and the scientific community. Chicken Coop Confidential threw down $5 to kick off the Super Chat Insanity Show. Thank you for that Super Chat of $5. Mucho gusto, generoso. A continuing supporter of GoofOn. And Moonhawk throwing down a PayPal with a $1.23. I love the 1, 2, 3s. Thank you very much, David Bailey. Who's that? Shit. I don't know who that is, but thank you, Moonhawk. Appreciate that. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Chicken Coop, thank you very much for being there. The $5 throwdown. It's a super dono. They're the best. And Moonhawk throwing it down on the 1, 2, 3 PayPal edition. Thanks, guys. I'm so stupid, right? I know. I'm dumb. I'm sorry, Moonhawk. Here we go. Yeah, I almost did. All right.
That we have been monitoring for months. If you regularly watch Finnerty, you will be familiar with this next story. Right now, as we speak, 3i Atlas, an enormous glowing object the size of Manhattan, is speeding toward Earth on what appears to be a planned, coordinated trajectory. It's going so fast that you could fly from New York to Los Angeles in just 1 minute. Now, conventional scientists say that it's just a comet. Of course they're going to say that. but it's doing things that comets just don't do. No comet we've ever seen. So what is it? Joining us now to answer that question, Harvard astrophysicist Dr. Avi Loeb, and member of the House Oversight Committee, and someone who took part in the UAP hearings just last month, Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett. Gentlemen, great to have you back on. Dr. Loeb, I want to start with you. October 3rd is an important date in this 3I Atlas saga. Why is today so important, and what are we now learning about this thing?
For a simple reason, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And we are about to get the highest resolution images of 3I Atlas when it comes within 29 million kilometers from Mars. There are several orbiters, one that was deployed by NASA around Mars, and it has a camera. This camera is called HiRISE that will be able to resolve 3I Atlas with a 30 kilometer per pixel resolution. So we will learn much more about it in the coming days, and hopefully the data will be out soon. Science is fun because we can learn from evidence. So far, there are 7 anomalies of this unusual object. The size is very large. It's larger of all the size of Manhattan Island, about 1,000 times more massive than the previous interstellar comet, about 33 billion tons, at least that mass. There was a jet coming out of this object towards the sun. Unlike a cometary tail that usually goes away from the sun, there was an unusual chemical composition containing mostly nickel without iron. There was a polarization of light never seen before for comets. And the trajectory of 3I Atlas is aligned with the plane of the planets around the sun. The arrival time was fine-tuned to come very close to Mars today, and later to Jupiter and Venus. And also I noticed that the arrival direction of 3I Atlas was coincident with the direction from where we got the most powerful radio signal back in 1977 that was called the WOW signal, still unresolved.
From Sagittarius, and it comes from that direction, although we don't know the plane, but it comes from that direction in the solar system. So basically, Congressman, I know you just heard all of that. Dr. Loeb wrote the UN about this, saying this should be looked into. We're going to have the best pictures we've had yet from Mars of this thing, unless the government hides them from us, which they could do. Have you been briefed on this, Congressman?
I have not, and I tell you, one of the reasons I admire so much Dr. Loeb is what he said. We can learn from science. He's not one of these arrogant jerks out there that looks down upon everybody else.
Wow. He's not one of these arrogant jerks. No, not really. He's just narcissistic in a way that he makes claims that are not based on any science at all, in my opinion. Now, I could be wrong. Right? Hey, what's up, Leadfoot? And I could just be talking out my cooliones, but if it doesn't make sense for him to say this, then nobody would be paying attention. But we are going by the data that they're telling us is happening. And what is that? That this object is slowing and speeding and ejecting stuff in the wrong direction towards the sun. It's primarily what? Nickel, they said? But, as fast as it's going, and now it's going to be within 29 million miles, so we could see it. How many people here believe we're going to get a blurry image? I don't think we're going to get a clear image. I think the image will be... It'll be skewed. It won't be perfect. They're going to blame it on camera malfunction. These cameras have been around Mars for a decade, so apparently every other picture before and after was working just perfectly, except for, I don't want that excuse to happen. This is what they do. We've predicted things like this in the past. Metalhead throwing down a $5 super dono. It's a wonderful super chat evening here Saturday night on Goof On. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate the support. Continuing supporters. Mucho gusto, generoso, Metalhead. Thank you. So I'll continue this. Avi Loeb, look, think about it, is the only one that made these claims. I don't hear anybody else backing him up. Like, Tim Burchett is not what is it, an astrologist, an astrologer? I can't speak anymore. Might as well just cut my arms off.
He actually enjoys explaining it to folks like myself. He's a hero in this movement. And he's also a pretty brave guy because he takes some pretty tough stands with his scientific data. This is the kind of thing that we need to be briefed on. You got to wonder what our scientific community, NASA.
Let me tell you why they allow this stuff to be briefed. Because everybody knows that it's not a mothership. Everybody knows, even you, even I. But we're still waiting for the punchline. We're waiting for the images to come through, not come through. I am very, very, I just love this stuff. I mean, I just can't wait to find out what happens. Find out where we're right, we're wrong. But where are the other scientists that are like, Avi Loeb is 100% correct? Nobody's doing that.
The rest are doing right now. I realize there's a shutdown going on, but this is occurring before the shutdown. And
this thing is heading our direction, Congressman. I just want to ask you about one other issue while I have you. Sorry to cut you off, sir. You received intelligence that suggests that there are perhaps deep water alien bases right now sitting on the ocean floor on this planet. Is that accurate?
I would say that's pretty accurate.
Can you go into more detail? How long have they been here? Where are they?
Well, I'm extrapolating all this with my East Tennessee vernacular. So we've got five or six deep water areas of our oceans. We actually know more about the surface of the moon than we do about these areas. And these are areas where we have a high frequency of UFO or UAP sightings. We've had naval folks have told me pretty high up that they've actually tracked these things. Now, we have stuff that can go underwater probably 30 to 40 miles an hour, maybe something a little faster that the Chinese haven't stole from us yet. And we've tracked things big as a football field.
That's a good license plate.
Miles
GTR
an hour. Now, I
DNA.
realize in the water you extrapolate that to knots and all that, but just for good old East Tennessee common sense, 200 miles an hour is something the size of a football field. And we don't know what it is. And these are in these areas. So, yeah, there's something going on there. And whether it's something that's been here for millennial or whatever, and I'm not afraid of it. I'm kind of like Dr. Loeb. I love to study this kind of stuff. It's the scientific material there he's the one that disclosed some things that were found that were extraterrestrial in our oceans. And, he's brave enough.
No, those were debunked. He went looking for what seemed to be extraterrestrial objects at the bottom of the ocean, but they weren't, were they? No, they weren't.
I believe to come forward with those. So I'm looking forward to some more talks about this. But I think I've kicked the hornet's nest because it was just in a casual conversation with a blogger, and I discussed it. It wasn't in a classified setting, so I could talk about it. But I always remember the last thing this one high-ranking official told me as he left my office. He was right close to me as I am to my phone in my barn right now, and he said, Tim, they're real.
Dr. Loeb, hopefully these images come out soon and we find out what this thing is. Congressman, great to have you on.
Yay. Not much new, right? Not much new, I just said. Not much new. Me tell new story coming up now. All right. Let me pull up this next clip. You just heard Tim Burchett say, we've tracked things as big as a football field going 200 miles an hour in these areas. We don't know what it is. That's regarding the deep water alien bases that are being explored or looked at or talked about. What's going on? I want to know if they're going to be doing a tear in the sky. What was the name of that movie? Fire? No, not a fire in the sky. It was with that lady, Carolyn Corey. They were gonna go on the Pacific. They said there was a portal in the sky, and they had these images of dots, which are camera anomalies. I've seen these in my own things. And when they come up during my editing, I'll stop and I'll show everybody. But I don't remember where they're at. But they were supposed to rent a home, buy a home on the ocean front, and study that area of the ocean where there's the underwater military base, along Southern California coast. Anyway, never happened. Well, it might be happening. I haven't heard anything. So, yeah, people, I don't. Let me pull this up. I don't know what I'm looking at. Why did I pull this up? Oh, right. I got to show you this. I'm going to show you this. Because I have, and I've showed it on the show, I have a very similar video of what you're going to see here. That is, it's called ion propulsion system, anti-gravity propulsion. The thing that I recorded looked like a football, right? And then it looked like it opened up, like from behind. All this stuff came out, and then it spun around and closed, and everything went back in, and it went back to the football shape. And it kept doing this. These arms would come out, or whatever it is. It looked like it was something trying to come out, and then it would go right back in. It'd break out, and then it. That's what we see here in this video that was recorded. This is crazy. UFO Mania on X. Plasma sheath. Lockheed Martin. Cormorant MPUAV. Say word. I don't know what this is. All right, check this out. And it's really weird that it's this thing. So,
Force familiar with the classified UAP Task Force report.
That's what happens. Oh, it's creepy.
Presented to Congress.
See it, how it opens up?
The classified report apparently discussed
then it closes
energy
back
pulse
up. Bam. I'm going to see if my
propulsion
video's around.
systems, ion propulsion
I think
systems,
I left it.
anti-gravity propulsion systems, antimatter propulsion systems, ramjet hydrogen propulsion systems, compressed nuclear propulsion systems, and advanced uses of exotic elements for energy research dealing with recovered non-human technologies. According to Dolan's source, these highly classified projects were spearheaded by DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Project Agency, and managed by a classified group called Advanced Group 6. This source stated all funding for these projects are black budget confidential funds. And some come from private contractors themselves, aka what we spoke about earlier, IRAD. Prototyping of these crafts utilizing the above technology, including platforms leveraging exotic non-human materials.
I don't have
Coast of Virginia Beach.
it.
2 F-18 Super Hornets were split by a UAP. The object, described as a dark gray or a black cube inside of a clear sphere, came within 50 feet of the lead aircraft and was estimated to be 5 to 15 feet in diameter. The mission commander terminated the flight immediately and returned base. Our squadron submitted a safety report, but there was no
Foo Fighter. Are you guys seeing this? What the hell's going on? Look at that. Look at the size of that thing that I captured. Isn't that huge? You guys can't hear it because there's nothing to hear. But look how big that is. I think that's mine. That's weird. I don't remember recording this. But it sounded like me in the beginning. It sounded like me in the beginning. That's a pretty weird thing to say, right? Yeah. What's up, views? With the zzz. All right, we've got a lot more to show you. All right. Now, I want to talk about Borland. Dylan Borland is... Look, this is the only person that I felt... Well, I guess Nusatelli, Jeff Nusatelli, you know Nusatelli, he was also there. He was the first guy who spoke. They were all pretty decent except for the last guy. So, the first two were good. All right, the first two guys were good. But I'm going to play this. So David Grush and others apparently sent Dylan Borland on an information fishing expedition. Like, I take this as them wasting his time to see what he knew. So instead of just asking the guy, they sent him on a fishing expedition. I mean, this is just watch here. This is why that side of ufology, it's never going to advance where we need it. I don't think no side is going to be able to get what we want. But this is pretty obvious to me that I can't handle.
I get a phone call after Dave testifies, and they notify me, hey, Dylan, we want you to go to the IG. And I said, all right, what about? They're like, this stuff.
They, me, who? Congress?
A staffer and Dave and an attorney that you guys are aware of. I don't know if I can say their name, but an attorney you guys are aware of.
With white hair?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. And they're like, go to the IG. And I said, am I safe? Is it what the country needs? Yes, yes. I said, all right, let's make it happen. And I go to the IG. That was in, I want to say September, October. I actually have the date for you guys if you need it.
Hold on. Did you hear what he said? Guys, this saddens me. This makes me sad. Did you hear what he said? What a great guy. This bothers me. Listen to what he said.
The IG. That was in, I want to say September, October. I actually have the date for you guys if you need it. But I went there in 2023, late summer, early fall of 2023.
Did I miss it?
And I go through the IG process. And to be honest with you, out of everything it needs, yes. I said, all right, let's make it happen.
Here it is.
And they're like, go to the IG. And I said, am I safe? Is it what the country needs?
Two things. Am I safe? And is it what the country needs? What did we get out of Dylan Borland's testimony? Seriously, what did we get? We got some good story. Stuff we knew was already happening. See, we're going to keep getting the same stories, just regenerated, rebroadcast, rebranded. And that's just to keep us at the chasing the carrot. Am I going to be safe? And is this what the country needs right now? That is an interesting thing to say. Forget about him being safe, but is this what the country... Listen.
Is it what the country needs?
No. No.
Yes, yes. I said, all right, let's make it happen. And
That's how they got him. Is this what the country? Of course. Yes, yes, yes. Whatever this guy, make him happy. Yes, him to death. That's what they did. This is not what the country needs right now. This is just confusing everybody. Everybody's confused. Because if we are... See, I say we when I mean it seems like ufology has gotten... It's off the rails. Everybody's grifting a piece of the pie. You got Eleganzo over there. You got Grush over here with his book and shit. And then you got now the new Borland guy. You got Jake, and his psionic and his psychicness now. I can summons them. Everybody's now got a piece of the pie. You see what they're doing too? They're bringing in God and spirituality and things of that nature. They want this to be a remote viewing party, part 2. We got to find them a big rock like they did in the 70s over in California. Or was it the late 60s? Oh, boy. Let's listen to the rest of this.
I go to the IG. That was in, I want to say September, October. I actually have the date for you guys if you need it. But I went there in 2023, late summer, early fall of 2023. And I go through the IG process. And to be honest with you, out of everything, I really feel like the IG process was the worst. I think the people at Arrow genuinely cared.
Wow.
But my opinion going through the IG and the questions they asked me, the things that were said to me, made me feel like that was a fishing expedition and the only thing they cared about was finding out how much I actually knew.
Absolutely. They finally got one. They reel him in. They got you, man. Now they're going to freaking interrogate you until you blue. Will you be safe? Yep. Is this good for the country right now? Yep.
Wow. That is highly disappointing.
It was very disappointing being in that room with the conversation and statements that were being made to me. Like when somebody's
Redacted.
asking you a question in the IG, government employee cuts them off and says, you don't ask him that question, and looks at me and tells me you don't answer that question. Yeah. When they ask you, what do you want out of this? And verbatim, direct quote on film, by all means, go get the recording, because they said they recorded it.
Mm-hmm.
But they said, what do you want out of this? And I said, I want to look Congress in the eyes, tell them the truth under oath, so when I die, I can answer for this and know I did my job. And the response was, as far as we're concerned, you already did that, and you're not doing it again. So...
Is this the actual Inspector General? Or
the ICIG, yes. I have his card at my house.
You went through the whole thing?
I went through the whole thing.
Who else is there?
Redacted.
So they told him, you're not doing this again. First of all, that goes against everything. First Amendment rights and the Constitution of the United States of America. You can say whatever you want as long as you're not threatening anybody. However, they don't want him talking anymore. Even if he's repeating the same thing, they don't want that message being repeated. See, he didn't say, or what? You're not doing it, or what? What do you mean, or what? Well, what are you going to do? I'm going to talk about it. No, you're not. And what if I do? FAFO. FAFO? I'm gonna FAFO?
ICIG, assistant director,
Redacted.
attorney on my right.
So you try to do this right. You go to ICIG and you literally feel like that they are just trying to pump you to figure out how much you know how dangerous you are to the legacy program.
In my opinion, looking back on this, yes, because
How could he be a danger? Anybody? How? How? I don't understand what's going on. The only thing he wants to do is just tell the story. So that is going to damage the reputation? Is that what they're worried about? Is that it? I guess that's it. We don't want to look like liars. But everybody knows you lied. Everybody knows you covered it up. Everybody knows, everybody knows, everybody knows. Stop trying to act like you didn't do anything.
the way
Government?
they ask questions, the statements they made to each other, the statements they made to me, 100% seemed like they wanted to find out how much I knew. And at the end of this, which you're aware of the conversation I had with the attorney, it was, you are credible, not urgent, go disappear in the winds, leave this all behind, shut up, do not do anything. Your entire, everything you said, which goes back to what we talked, I mean, I talked about my childhood in there. I was told everything I talked about in that room now is up for executive review. And I brought up to the attorney, I talked about my childhood. Is that now up for it? I talked about unclassified information readily available on the internet. And they said, Dylan, every single thing you talked about is now subject to executive review. Do not go outside of those bounds.
Your whole life.
Pretty damn much.
It's like a great way to lock somebody down if you want to kind of intake their whole whistleblower story, what they know, and then say, now that you've testified to ICIG, you have to walk away.
When you realize they say that, and that this has been, in essence, a waste of time, that you walked into sort of a trap, I mean, I can imagine how depressing it would be.
It's depressing. It pissed me off because I was already blacklisted from the IC. And I had told the attorney that. I told the IG that. Like, I already know that there are things that are in place for me getting jobs, working in this field that years back are in play. And it's happened to me since I've gone to the IG, which goes back to retaliation. Like, technically, I'm still being retaliated against.
So, two things are happening. Either he's lying and nothing's happened to him that's hurting him financially, emotionally, with family, you know, or, you know, it's real, you know, maybe, or it's a script. Either he's making believe all this bad stuff is happening to make it seem like he's important, his story has credibility. Because without evidence, how can you validate somebody? Unless they get threats to be silenced. That's how you make somebody seem credible without having evidence. You make it seem like their life is on the line. Someone in their family is going to get hurt if they speak. That's how important the information is that's coming out of my mouth. That's how you can tell somebody's credible. Or it's all bullcrap. It's not credible. The whole story's made up. And he looks like a hero, the victim. Look what they did to me. They made me practically homeless. I can't get a job. My credit score sucks. I'm basically homeless because of, you know, they agreed. Yeah, they told me I can say this stuff. Now they went against me. Did they? Does anybody have any proof that this guy's living on the streets? I want to see a picture of his surround system in the park. I want to see him watching TV at the fountain. I want to see him eating breakfast at a hot dog stand. I'm joking a little bit. But how do we know anything about this guy, right? Why would he lie? What was the thing he said earlier? I'm paraphrasing, but is this going to help the country? He's all about it. America first. Or is he?
Inspector General's office is there to hear about wrongdoing and things that shouldn't be happening in the agencies that it oversees.
You would think, but this is now me being black-pilled, and there's a joke amongst all the military guys, which is the JAG isn't for you, the JAG is for the DOD. The IG isn't for us, the IG is for the government.
Yeah.
And that's the way I feel now.
Did you share this with the attorney who had been advising you about seeing these guys who, we're not saying who it is, but who...
Yeah, I think with the client,
Right.
I just think you're not supposed to do that. It's not like a big secret. I'm just trying to be respectful.
I made it aware to them that the statement that he had made to me was of grave concern. It made no sense. And I had asked, how do I do Dopser? Because I do not trust this process at all anymore. And basically from that point, I was completely shut out for over a year.
Thank you, Dorothy. $2 super dono from Dorothy. 55 on X. Thank you very much for being a continuing supporter of GoFund. Dorothy, mucho gusto, generoso. Yeah, it's a good story. I believe it. For some reason, I believe his story. See, the whole thing is I don't have a choice. Well, I do. But I'm going to go out on a limb, one of the few times I've ever done that, and say I believe what this guy's saying. So let's just, keep an eye on his story, see what happens to him. I have a feeling in 2 to 6 months, he's going to be doing all right. I see possible book deal, maybe even a podcast. There's something about him that I think the public likes. He's believable. He looks right at you when he talks to you. He's not doing anything weird. He just seems like a genuine experiencer of corruption. Yeah? Thanks, Dorothy. That's why I think this guy's going to have a little bit of a stay. He's going to stay around a little bit. Jake Barber seemed to try too hard, in my opinion, with the egg story. That really it was good at first, but as soon as the other stuff came out, we found out the real truth. Wow, did that story just nosedive into the ground. There's nothing Jake Barber can do. He went with the plane. All right. In about 7 minutes, we're going to give away 10 memberships for free for 1 month. They don't renew, but you can renew if you want to. They're just for 1 month. All right. I want to play this from Bill Maher. Because Bill Maher is pretty, for a Democrat, I like him. I don't really appreciate everything he says about Trump. I think he's, just as childish as Trump's being, but he's a comedian. I find Bill Maher very funny, even if it's against Republicans. I don't give a shit. Funny's funny. So he says, Jones says, I am into it. Who's Jones? Who's Van Jones? I would do wall-to-wall coverage of these generals having to say, this is weird stuff. We don't know what it is. Bill Maher says it looks like we're, at very least, under surveillance. Yes, it does look like that. With the drone incursions that have been happening since November of last year, it's almost a year, my peeps, that the drones have had a life in the media. and on the coasts. I'm telling you, it is surveillance, and it's our stuff. And yeah, maybe it is Lockheed Martin, but I believe because Trump didn't care to do anything about it, and he said, yeah, I'm aware what they are, remember? And he says there's nothing to worry about. End of story, pretty much. And then the drone thing kind of went away, but not really. Then they showed up in Denmark, in other parts of the world. They look weird. Some of these drones just don't look logical as far as technology. Like, why would you invent something that looks like an amoeba? You know what I mean?
Government be more
Wait, that's a real low volume. Damn it. You guys have turned the volume up.
transparent about the existence
Not my
of
fault.
UAPs. UAP is UFO.
Yes.
Right? I don't know why they think that's going to calm our nerves by changing it's a UFO. And I mean, what I've been reading lately is that there's one heading toward the Earth. There's something that's 13 miles long. It doesn't apparently look like any other comet because the light is coming from the top, from the front and not behind. And it's apparently making a trip through the solar system that is uncommon for comets. It looks like it's doing a drive-by of all the planets. I don't know, but I just think, and there was that thing that bounced off that they fired at something.
Oh, I forgot. This is HBO. I can't play this. They're going to shut me down. Anyway, he makes a few jokes. It's hard to hear. That's right. I can't play that. Can't play that. Damn it. Oh. All right. I'm going to play whistleblower Jeff Nusatelli and a video clip, and then we're going to give away 10 mems. Whistleblowers are stepping forward, he says, and they need protection and support. The Whistleblower Defense Fund is now live. Did you hear this? Stand with us. Join the fight. Spread the word. What? Check this out. I can't believe this. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. How can this be real? This has got to be a joke. And I know it's not. This can't be. God, oh, come on. Hold on. It went to another screen. It should have already done it. It's a fundraiser. $862 raised. They want $3,000. Whistleblower Defense Fund. Protecting whistleblowers. Why $3,000? I don't get this. Does anybody understand? This makes no sense. What? I want to see who these are. Let's see who these are. See if we know anybody. Anonymous. Darren Hawkins. Ann Cramps. Jesse Springer. Anonymous. Alex Katz. I can't believe that. They got $862. Why $3,000? This is nuts. We and our vendors. Oh, that's cookies. Never mind. Reality is classified. Support the Whistleblower Defense Fund, defending truth, protecting whistleblowers, supporting veterans, everyday men and women in the military, intelligence community, federal service face terrible choice. Oh boy, really, guys? What is that? Maybe I should put something up. The Goof on Truthology Fund. I do it every night. All right, let's give away some 10 memberships. I got to pull up some music. We need music for this. So these memberships are for 1 month. They do not renew. You have to renew it because they're free. Sorry. Oh, what happened to my face? If I had a chicken, no, let's do fluffing a duck. Let's see how this one sounds for this. All right, we're going to fluff a duck. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. For those of you who are here, have a chance to win a membership. Here we go. We give away 5 at a time. I do not pick who gets them. YouTube randomly chooses who gets these first 5 and the last 5 memberships. Here we go. In 3, 2, a goo. The first 5 winners are... Hey, Marcel, you won another one. You won earlier today on Rich Saves, or yesterday. Sadie received a gift membership. Jason Semero won another membership today. You got one on Rich Saves, too. Tommy G received a gift membership by Goofon. That's only 4. They did that again to us. They shorted us 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, they shorted us. They did that too last month. All right, let's do the next 5. Sorry, not my fault. I don't do it. Here we go. In 3, 2, and the next 5, or however many memberships. Metalhead, you got one finally. 13th Hour received a membership. Vern Dude got one. Hey, Country Girl, good for you. I'm glad you got it. Hey, JH, congratulations. Thank you, everybody. Oh, you got a gifted membership from Chicken Coop Confidential. Wait a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And then Chicken Coop Confidential gave one to JH. Well, congratulations to those who won. And thank you, CCC, for supporting the cause. It's a real cause. Don't worry about it. Isaac Kenny's here. How you doing, Isaac? Glad you can get a free mem. That's awesome. Glad you guys can be a part of that. All right. What else we got here? Okay. So, what are the scientific community and NASA doing right now? Well, Tim Burchett's, straight shooter, no nonsense kind of guy. He just asked what the rest of us are thinking during an interview. Oh my God, really? Now it's gone. They removed it. You stinker. Okay, so the hard truth about Dylan Borland. I'm not the bad guy here. There's people out there that are really tearing apart this guy's claims. Dylan Borland didn't see an alien spaceship. His brake lines were not cut by the Men in Black. And the reason he can't get a job he likes is likely due to him being difficult to work with, giving bad interviews, or being less qualified. See, sometimes people just can't accept that's who they are. We don't see ourselves the same way as others see us. You know this is true. Pretty sad that people are picking on poor Dylan Borland just because the guy wanted to talk about UFOs. Not cool, man. Mick West wants to debunk drones. He says more evidence of drones is simply a long exposure of the blinking navigation lights of some aircraft. Oh my God, shut off. These are the oldest types of pictures. We've seen these for 20 plus years. Time lapse, airplanes, blinking FAA lights, collision lights, all that stuff. This isn't what people are calling the drones. Is it? Because if it is, stupid. Anyway, that's Mick West thinking that's what people are calling. That's not what people are calling drones. Is it? Drones move. All right. I want to read this post from John Stewart, good friend of the show. So here's the truth, he says. I hope this does not get me in trouble. He says, let me pull it up so maybe you want to read it along with me. Doon, doo, doon, doon, doo, doon, 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 doo, doon, 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 doo, doon, doon. All right, I'm going to put myself in the corner. Boop. Good. I know it's tiny. I hope this does not get me in trouble. Please know the person risking their lives to share this with me may be wrong, and I am open to this possibility. So please share this with Avi Loeb, Weinstein, and Jeremy Riss whenever you like. Over the past several years, countless observers worldwide have documented strange plasma-like orbs and glowing spheres traversing our skies. These phenomena are not craft, quote unquote, or visitors, quote unquote, from elsewhere. No, they are the visible byproducts of an unprecedented geophysical process within our own planet. Earth's inner core is reacting to a rare gravitational alignment and increased solar activity, causing electromagnetic discharges that manifest in the atmosphere as luminous orbs. This is not random. Our sun is currently undergoing an intense phase of its 11-year cycle, and combined with gravitational perturbators from other planets. What is that? Perturbations. I forget. How do you say that? Perturbators from other planets. This is exerting a measurable influence on Earth's molten core. See, I'm not buying this now. I have a hard time with this already. Sorry, John. Excuse me. Scientists have long known that solar storms and magnetic field fluctuations can trigger auroras, but we are now entering a regime where the core's convection patterns are destabilizing, producing transient plasma effects far beyond traditional auroral zones. The result? Glowing orbs, flickering plasma spheres, and other high-energy atmospheric anomalies being recorded globally. Pause. Okay. First of all, no. No. That's not true. Anything that we have seen, it's a hoax, it's been debunked, or it's just not alien. Sorry, I do not see any of the evidence that John claimed has been seen and has been named and dubbed and, well, all the other stuff that goes with what he's saying. I'm just, no. Sorry, but I know I'm in the minority, right? Do you remember the buried story in the media? Has the Earth's core stopped rotating? Scientists haven't a clue. If this trend continues, he says, it could culminate in a massive geological event, a once in a millennia, of course, it's always once in a millennia, realignment of Earth's crust, unprecedented volcanism, or even a sudden shift in the geomagnetic field. This is not speculation, it is a logical extension of the data now emerging from seismology, magnetometry, and heliophysics. Really? Heliophysics, huh? Interesting. Where are we? Earth's inner core is reacting to a rare gravitational. Did I already read this? Scientists have long known that solar storms and magnetic field fluctuations. Did I already read that? Okay. Do you remember? We already read that. If this trend continues, we already read that. We are witnessing the early warning signs. The orbs are not UFOs. They are Earth's own warning lights. But Intel is using aliens as a cover story for these orbs. May God bless us all. Wrong. And that's okay. It's my opinion. I believe John is 100% wrong. And that's okay. He's allowed to be wrong. I'm allowed to be wrong. You're allowed to be wrong. But is he? Is that what's going on? Let me tell you why there's some truth to what he's saying. The orbs that we're seeing now, the people are recording metallic spheres. And along that vein of round objects being seen in the sky, we see glowing orbs as well. White, yellow, orange, sometimes red, yellow, or blue. But most of the time, yellow, orange, or white. The Marfa lights, is it? The natural lights that appear out of the ground. Some people call them earth lights. I mean, that's a natural phenomena. It's a natural phenomena that happens. There are earth lights. And it's thought to be produced by the rubbing of the rocks under the ground, and the electricity pops up out of the ground, and you get the, hey, look at me, I'm an orb, and it's going over here and it's going over there, and then boop, it's gone. I don't know. All I know is if you smash some rocks, and I'm not sure which ones you smash with the lights off, you see a light. Yeah. We used to do it all the time. You would see light come out. Not sparks. No. You would see light. Beep. Like a spark. But more like a flashlight. Very interesting. But I don't buy that. That's what these orbs are. Because it's not. They've been around for millennia. The orbs have been seen through all mankind. So, what are they? I don't know. I almost want to say they're ways to communicate. They're bubbles of information that when near another orb, it shares information with the person who or thing, entity that is operating the orb. So it's more or less like their soul or their essence of their body, their feelings are in the orb. And when they get near other orbs or other objects with the same signature, they can communicate. Maybe. That was a good one. These are the things that I want to know. Now, the metallic spheres, bullshit. I'm calling hoax on all metallic spheres that we've seen. And I think there's 2, if not maybe 3. That is really bad for ufology. These metallic orbs are very bad. Because if you align it with the person who's responsible for giving us the orbs or the spheres, it's the same people who have given us hoaxes in the past. Jaime Maussan. So, anyway. food for thought once again for ufology. NASA and 3i Atlas. I don't know what they're going to hide, what they're going to show us, but we're going to find out soon what this thing may look like in some sort of detail or shape. So I'm really interested in the next coming weeks. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out tonight. I hope you had a good time. Saturday night, we usually don't go much longer than an hour. But I just wanted to talk about this and spend some time with the Goofonians. Appreciate you guys hanging out. And thank you, moderators and super chatters, newcomers, veterans. Thank you for making the show enjoyable in the chat room and supporting the show monetarily. You can still do that with PayPal, Cash App, or become a member. And congratulations to the 10 new members. Remember, you don't have to renew, but if you want to, it's up to you completely. All right. And guys, also for ufology, if you ain't looking up, you ain't looking out for ufology. Gotta keep looking up. Gotta do it. Can't just walk away. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to try to do a member show tomorrow. That's right. Maybe in the morning. All right? All right. We'll see you guys on the flip side. Alien bless.
There's a good thing. It's rotating. What was in the skies over and why did it sound treasured sites in Christianity?
There's something